It's OTA Minicamp season. Today we're looking at the Tennessee Titans and getting a good look at Elic Ayomanor, run some routes, catch some balls, work through some drills, everything else. Before we dig in, though, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're looking at practice, rookie camp, minicamp, OTAs, training camp, workouts in between, whatever we can find on these players. So you know what your players do behind the scenes, those rookies, those position battles. Guys are drafting in fantasy football. It's all going to be right here. Click that button. Stop missing out on what your players are doing. Be in the know about them. But we're looking at Elic Ayomanor right now. 4 minutes, 40 seconds. We'll loop this and keep talking ball. We'll loop it. But from what I'm seeing from the clips, that things are looking pretty good. Things are looking good from the former Stanford wide receiver here. And honestly, I was surprised he fell that far in the draft. Because when you watch the tape on this kid, this dude creates separation. This dude can put you in a blender. And he's very reliable. Metric-wise, good market share of the passing production. Up there with the top wide receivers. And we're going at a spot in the draft here where many were having him go in the second and third round of the draft when they were mock drafting. Like a lot of the mock draft sites. And that's just attuned to the prospect profile. There's Dyke right there. Some of you guys, if you want a video on him, let me know in the comments below. There's clips. There's clips I can get. Elic Ayomanor is a wide receiver I've been paying attention to for a bit. The thing about him and what he's best known for is that big catch against Travis Hunter. Oh, he had a couple of them in that game where he just went off against Colorado. That one behind the back, getting downfield and creating separation off of him. He's a very smooth technical route runner with some thickness. That's the thing about him. That's the thing about him. He's got good hands. And what we were talking about, this wide receiver depth chart going into the draft, and on top of that, throughout the offseason, it's very ambiguous once you get past the top guys. And we have some talent here between him, Dyke, Restrobo, where some of these rookies could emerge. They could. Treylon Burks is still there on the roster. We got to see what he's doing. But some of these rookies could emerge this year, or maybe next year. There's a drop there. There's Ayomanor right there. Getting ready to do his rep, it looks like. But I think Ayomanor is more talented than his draft slot. I think for what you're getting out of him, you're getting a very reliable wide receiver that will create separation. Ball coming his way. There we go. Choppy. His breaks are solid. Like, he stops almost on a dime. Go again. We got some talent now on the back end of this depth chart. If you include Restrobo, which I do, he's a solid slot wide receiver. Has a good rapport with Ward already. And this team's on the come up too, because you just got drafted your quarterback. So you got to allow things to develop and play out. Ayomanor was a huge get. Huge get. Huge get. Odds against wide receivers drafted in his range aren't good, but there have been wide receivers that hit in his range as well for the draft. That's the thing about it. It's aggressive. Good hands. See him snatch that one? Good hands. That's what you're going to see from him. Look at the tape. Go back and watch some of those Stanford games. Look at the cut-ups even. Look at the highlights. Just look at the highlights. You'll see. You'll see. Like, compare his highlights against other highlights. You'll notice, like, that game against Travis Hunter was his coming out party. He had some other moments, though, against some other top programs. Ball's in the air. Brings it down. Brings it down. We're making plays. I would not be surprised if this continues throughout training camp when the pads gets on and he starts being a highlight reel once we get to joint practices. Training camp. Training camp's usually like the first few practices are basic, kind of like minicamp OTAs. And then it ramps up to pads, and then it's joint practices. Joint practices has the preseason included. And it's kind of like 3 parts, where the first part's very quick, a couple days. The second part, you're going through those practices. You can't wait to get to the joint practices to see what your guys are at. Joint practices is where the answers are going to be at, usually. Boom. I would not be surprised he starts tearing up once we get the pads on. Once we get the pads on, I would not be surprised. That's when we start tearing it up, and that's when we start killing it, especially joint practices. I would not be surprised at all. Like, it would probably be against the 2s or whatever, but still. Very talented rookie wide receiver that you can move all over the place. Ball skills are there even, but the ability to break off routes and ability to create separation while having those sticky hands is really going to allow him to climb the depth chart. That's going to allow him to climb it. Him and Dyke, different assets at wide receiver. Just different players. Like similar positions, but different players. Ayomanor, his upside and ability to climb a depth chart's there. And this is the depth chart for him to do so. Boom. He's got good feet. He's got very good feet. Downfield. Boom. Rester Pro. Rester Pro, I'm saying it wrong. Got a cold. Things are coming out wrong. Apologize for that. But that's a wide receiver to pay attention to. So the pro day. He hurt himself during the 40. We covered the 40-yard dash of his. We covered that clip. And we were like, something had to be off. Something had to be off for him to be that slow. For that to happen. He injured himself prior, if I remember. And he still ran it. Because he wanted to have that grit and just do it. I believe that impacted his draft status. Because he was a UDFA immensely. I think they're going to get a good dog out of this. I think him and Ward's going to have a good rapport, obviously. But I think he's going to stick around. I don't think he's going to be one of those UDFAs that's gone. I think, and the consensus agrees. A lot of people agree. A lot of people are watching him. Dyke's got speed, though. He's a difference maker in those regards. Deep ball city. Deep ball city. Ayomanor, though. Short to intermediate, creating separation, still getting downfield. Just can do it all. Can play multiple roles as well. Just he can turn on a dime. That's the thing about him. There's not many extra steps on his cuts. It's just pop, pop, gone, turn, boom, separation. If you're looking at this for fantasy football, seasonal redraft leagues, he's a little bit outside the scope, especially when you want to see how this offense plays out. If attrition hits, or if we're really killing it in training camp, I'll have you need videos out on him. And, of course, other similar players that are doing that. And then for Dynasty, he's cheap in rookie drafts. And he's in a spot where the player pool at running back is diminished. And you're just getting your guys on day 3. He's in that day 3 running back pool range. And at wide receiver, if you're looking at the talent, if you're still looking for later wide receivers or cheaper wide receivers, that's probably the best way to put it. That's a guy to look at. I think macro analysis would be say, hey, just keep pounding running back. But if you want to take some stabs at wide receiver, you got Ward there. If Ward takes a step forward, you got ambiguous depth chart on the long term here. Like, how long is Calvin really going to be there? You got a guy here with a good prospect profile when it comes to production. You got good hands, yards per out ran. Career-wise, up there with some of the top wide receivers in the league. Our tape checks out. We have good tape against good competition. We're looking here, and we're breaking off routes good. No added steps, hardly at all, unless it's necessary. The turf's not even 100% pristine. So we got good cuts with this. This is a good player. If you want to put a cheap chip on, go ahead, especially once you get that deep where there's no sunk cost. Ain't that big a deal. Macro-wise, again, fundamentals, deep running back class, keep rolling with it, keep tagging that in rookie drafts once you get cheap. But if you want to pivot and look for some wide receivers, there's a few of them on the cheap, really depending on who you're talking about and where you're at. Ayomanor does have some things in his prospect profile and what we're seeing here that could hit for you. That these are cheap lottery tickets nonetheless. So if you're looking for that's something to look at. That's something to look at. If you're looking for a wide receiver on the cheap, say you went running back, he's there, and you're sick of the running backs, or you're saying, I can't hold this many more running backs. We got some running backs from last year or whatever, and you want a wide receiver added. Again, there's some things here that could lead to him hitting. It's the depth chart. It's his style. It's his ability to break off routes. He's got a good production profile. Draft capital's a little bit against him if you're talking about hit rates per draft capital. But, again, if you're looking for outliers, and you're in the range of outliers anyways, and you're sick of the running back class, or you're at a position or position parts where he's there, the running backs are dead to you, I don't care. I think it's fine. I think he's got a lot of talent. Now, if you heard all that as a Titans fan, you got a good wide receiver at a discount, is what I'm saying. If you don't play fantasy football or even Dynasty, you got a good player here on the cheap. I think you're going to get more out of that draft slot than what you realize. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.